Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Have you ever thought about how every single bite of food you take literally wires your brain? We're talking physical and chemical changes to the actual architecture of your mind. Every time you eat, you aren't just filling your stomach, you are directly influencing how your mind functions, develops, and feels.
So, let's kick things off with a slightly visceral but honestly fascinating thought experiment. If you somehow sucked all the moisture right out of your brain, what exactly would be left behind? We tend to think of our brain as this abstract machine generating our thoughts and consciousness, but at the end of the day, it is a physical organ made up of very specific physical matter.
And if you break down that leftover physical matter, the nutritional components are pretty revealing. We're talking about fats, proteins, and amino acids, traces of micronutrients, and glucose. Obviously, your brain is way more than just the sum of its nutritional parts, but each one of these components has a distinct, measurable impact on your functioning, your development, your mood, and your energy. So, if you've ever wondered why you experience a sudden wave of post-lunch apathy, or maybe an unexpected burst of late-night alertness, well, it usually comes down to the direct effects of these physical components entering your brain.
To really grasp how this all works, we're going to take a quick anatomical tour through these vital building blocks. 1. Fats, the structural superstars. 2. Proteins, the mood makers. 3. Micronutrients, the brain protectors. 4. Carbs, fueling the machine. And finally, 5. A recipe for brain health.
Section 1. Fats, the structural superstars. Let's start with the biggest slice of that dehydrated brain pie.
Now, this might actually surprise you, especially given the bad rap fats get in modern diet culture. But most of the weight of your dehydrated brain actually comes directly from fats, which are also known as lipids. And far from being a negative, these fats are literally the foundational, structural superstars of your mind.
But here is the catch. Not all fats are created equal. When it comes to your brain, the absolute superstars are omegas 3 and 6. These are essential fatty acids, and the crazy thing you need to know about them is that your body just cannot make them on its own. They absolutely must come directly from our diets. When you eat omega-rich foods like nuts, seeds, and fatty fish, you are providing the exact building blocks crucial for the creation and maintenance of your brain's cell membranes. On top of that, maintaining a healthy supply of these omegas has been linked to actively preventing degenerative brain conditions.
It's a really stark contrast when you compare them side by side. While omegas are busy building your brain up as these incredibly beneficial fats, long-term consumption of trans and saturated fats can actively compromise your brain's health. Your everyday diet is literally dictating the structural integrity of your brain cells over time.
Moving on to Section 2, proteins, the mood makers. Let's see how these specific nutrients are responsible for manipulating how we feel and behave on a daily basis.
So proteins and amino acids are the fundamental building block nutrients of growth and development. And there's a fascinating step-by-step biological chain reaction that happens here. When you consume proteins, your body breaks them down into amino acids. Those amino acids contain the essential precursors to neurotransmitters. Now, neurotransmitters are the chemical messengers carrying signals back and forth between your neurons. They're effectively the communication network of your mind. And those signals, they dictate everything from your mood and your sleep to your attentionfulness and even your weight. It's exactly why eating a massive plate of pasta might leave you feeling incredibly calm and heavy, whereas a protein-rich meal is going to make you feel sharp and alert.
The complex combinations of compounds in your food are literally stimulating your brain cells to release specific, powerful, mood-altering chemicals. We're talking about heavy hitters like norepinephrine, dopamine, and serotonin. They are all heavily influenced by what you choose to put on your plate.
But here is where it gets wild. Actually getting these amino acids to your brain cells is quite a tricky process. Your brain is a highly protected organ, right? So these amino acids have to fiercely compete with one another for very limited access through the brain's barriers. Because of this intense competition, maintaining a varied diet with a diverse range of foods is absolutely essential. Mixing it up ensures you maintain a balanced combination of brain messengers, which keeps your mood from skewing too far in one chaotic direction or another.
Section 3. Micronutrients, the brain protectors. Next up, we're examining the microscopic defenders that keep this whole delicate system safe. Just like any other organ in your body, your brain benefits immensely from micronutrients acting as its personal defense system. Take antioxidants, which you get from fruits and vegetables. They strengthen the brain to fight off free radicals that actively destroy your brain cells, basically enabling your brain to work better for a much longer period of time. Then we have powerful micronutrients like the B vitamins, specifically B6, B12, and folic acid.
Without these guys, our brains would be left highly susceptible to brain disease and mental decline. And finally, trace minerals. We only need tiny amounts of minerals like iron, copper, zinc, and sodium. But those trace amounts are absolutely fundamental to overall brain health, and they're especially vital for early cognitive development.
All right, Section 4, Carbs, Fueling the Machine. Now that we've structurally built the brain and set up its chemical messengers and defenses, it is time to fuel the engine.
In order for the brain to efficiently transform and synthesize all of those valuable nutrients we just talked about, it needs fuel, and it needs a ton of it. Check this out. While your physical brain only makes up about 2% of your total body weight, it consumes a staggering 20% of your body's energy resources. It is a wildly demanding organ.
Most of that massive energy requirement comes from carbohydrates that your body breaks down and digests into glucose, which we commonly just call blood sugar. Your frontal lobes are actually so incredibly sensitive to drops in glucose, in fact, that a sudden change in mental function, that terrible feeling of brain fog or confusion, is often one of the primary, very first signals of nutrient deficiency.
So, assuming we are getting glucose regularly, how does the specific type of carbohydrate we eat affect our brains? Well, carbs basically come in three forms: starch, sugar, and fiber. While on most standard nutrition labels, these are usually lumped together into one big total carbohydrate count, the ratio actually matters tremendously. The specific ratio of the sugar and fiber subgroups to the whole amount completely alters how your body and your brain respond.
You can really see this stark contrast when you look at the glycemic index of our food. High glycemic foods, like a slice of white bread, cause a rapid, massive release of glucose directly into the blood. But then comes the inevitable dip, right? Your blood sugar shoots down rapidly, and crashing down right alongside it is your attention span and your mood. On the flip side, if you choose low glycemic foods, things like oats, whole grains, and legumes, they provide a much slower, controlled glucose release, and that slow burn is exactly what enables that steady, sustained level of attentiveness we all want to maintain throughout our day.
Which brings us to Section 5, a recipe for brain health. Let's tie all these nutritional building blocks together into some actionable understanding.
We've seen the individual parts, and now we can see the whole picture. For sustained brain power, opting for a varied diet of nutrient-rich foods isn't just a trendy suggestion, it is biochemically critical. Ultimately, combining healthy fats to build cell membranes, diverse proteins to balance your mood-altering neurotransmitters, protective micronutrients to fend off mental decline, and slow-releasing carbs to provide steady fuel, that is the definitive recipe for maintaining a balanced and powerful mind.
The choices you make at the dinner table are literally resonating through every single neuron in your head. As this explainer highlights so clearly, when it comes to what you bite, chew, and swallow, your choices have a direct, long-lasting effect on the most powerful organ in your body. So keeping all of this incredible biology in mind, I leave you with this. What are you going to choose to build your brain with during your next meal?